The Mt. Gox thing in 2014, way worse. Like orders of magnitude worse than the FTX debacle. And look, I don't want to minimize the fact that $9 billion is a meaningful amount of money, but it's not relative to $1 trillion industry.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Mark Yusko forecasting the future of Bitcoin and where the market is headed in 2023. The level of trust that has been shattered for crypto at this point is unknown, but Yusko believes that there are many more to follow in succession of the crash of FTX. We're already starting to see markets in the red, and many analysts believe this is only the tip of the iceberg. Let's listen to this interview with Mark Yusko as he gives his reaction to the crash in FTX, as well as how crypto regulation will play out and what we can expect heading into 2023. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content we do here. Let's get right into the video.
I don't want to shift, because Michael, you labeled me hopeful at the beginning, so I don't want to shift all the way to sinister, but I got to add some sinister. What Santiago brings up is at the core of all of this, and look, I'm not going to go all the way into the complete sinister, but we've talked about this from over and over, that we are in the then they fight you stage. And 2009 to 15, first they laugh at you. No, I'm sorry, first they ignore you, right? They just a bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Who cares? 16 to 21, then they laugh at you. A bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Ha 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 ha. Not real. 2022 to 2027, unfortunately, probably. Then they fight you. And I will take the other side. SBF is the mastermind of nothing. Caroline mastermind. They are not masterminds. They are useful idiots. That legislation didn't come from him. It came from the top. That is the incumbents, the banks, and the regulators trying to do exactly as you said, to cancel this incredible technology that replaces trust with truth. And look, that is a monster transition that is going to happen. Right? We talked about the red flag law, right? No one's ever seen anyone walking in front of a car with a red flag. No one listening to this podcast has ever seen that. But that was the law at the turn of the century when the automobile was created. The horse and buggy people went and paid big money to the New York regulators to get them to pass a law. They said you had to hire a human to carry a red flag in front of your car so you didn't, run into anybody.
Wait,
and
really?
that's exactly what's happening here.
That's actually wild.
Oh, really? No, there's
no,
where
we
the term
never
red
talked
flag
about that
comes
on
from.
the show. Yeah.
All right. So that is where the term red flag comes from. Is they paid the regulators to get and look, the airlines, when the airlines came out, the train companies tried to do a similar thing. When the internet was created, they tried to pass a law that made voice over IP, which we're all using right now, illegal. And Al Gore did not invent the internet, but he did kill that bill. So he does get some credit for helping the internet be created. And central bank digital currencies, that is not positive for anything, anywhere, anyway. I will echo it with one caveat, well, the second caveat. So the first caveat is clearly if DCG goes bust and Genesis tumbles and Tether turns out to be a total fraud, which it probably is, probably not total fraud, but probably bad guys doing bad stuff. The Bahamas are basically the haven for fraudsters, always has been, money laundering and all kinds of good stuff. But the second caveat is we need an adoption mechanism to drive adoption, right? And in the early bull market in kind of 15, 16 into 17, it was just the first introduction into a wallet. And whether it was a hot wallet or in some cases a ledger or something like that. In 2019-20 was all about GBTC. And in the absence of an adoption mechanism, it's hard to get the fulfillment of the cycle. So while like I said, crypto winter ended in June, we're in crypto spring. Crypto spring lasts till April next year, and then we get to crypto summer. The angle of ascent of crypto summer has to do with the ability of the masses to have adoption. It ain't going to be GBTC. at a 50% discount. It's just not. So we need something else to get the capital into Bitcoin.
For the past few weeks, the crypto market has fared a degree of uncertainty that we rarely ever see. Yusko says that the key to Bitcoin is so much more than just a token of value, which is something he believes many investors overlook and underestimate.
The Mt. Gox thing in 2014, way worse. Like orders of magnitude worse than the FTX debacle. And look, I don't want to minimize the fact that $9 billion is a meaningful amount of money, but it's not relative to $1 trillion industry, first of all. Second, it is not unusual to have centralized institutions fail. We've had 523, I think is the number, banks fail since the global financial crisis. Forget the things that happened in the global financial crisis, but since then, there have been 523 banks that have gone away. The other thing is when Mt. Gox went under, there was no really other viable options for exchanges. I mean, it was it. Now there are 499 other exchanges. And look, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on this, and I would like to leave this, this perpetrator in the rearview mirror and not even mention his name. But the issue for me is, as Yano said, the positivity of the technology has been acknowledged. The flight of talent into the industry is here to stay. That's all hugely positive. The wrapping it back to the macro stuff is, I agree that the banquet of consequences is a really apt description because, look, the Fed created this mess, the Fed and all the other central banks around the world, by having emergency policies long after the emergency. And why did they do that? Right? Well, they did that to reliquify the bank balance sheets. The bank balance sheets were horrific. Right? There's a reason the Genesis block has the chancellor bailing out the banks for the second time. There's a reason that Bitcoin was created right in the middle of the global financial crisis. It wasn't created on that day. It was ready for some period of time, a year, 2 years, whatever it was. It was released on that day for a reason. And so if you think about the destruction that's been caused by the withdrawal of that excess liquidity in terms of market cap, right? Fangman alone has lost close to 4 trillion. 4 trillion. Like, just think about that. We're talking 7 stocks have wiped out $4 trillion of wealth.
In the past 2 years, the Fed has printed 50% of all cash in Republic history, which, because the supply has been doubled, devalues the dollar by 100%. This has caused Bitcoin to go up by 100% in the last 2 years. Yusko says that earnings and growth are crumbling. This happened because the Fed has overprinted the dollar, and now we're starting to feel the full economic weight of it, especially with record high interest rates. What do you guys think about Mark Yusko's opinion on crypto being the future of money and how Bitcoin will play a role in 2023? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.